Recent research from the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence reveals that 74% of American drivers have experienced deceptive practices at automotive repair facilities. Throughout my 21 years working in the automotive industry across multiple states, I have witnessed firsthand how unethical technicians exploit customers' limited mechanical knowledge for financial gain. From fabricated diagnostics to phantom repairs and unnecessary component replacements, every service appointment can become a costly trap that drains your savings account. Today I expose 15 cunning schemes commonly employed by dishonest repair shops nationwide, and provide you with proven strategies to detect and avoid each one. Stay tuned until the conclusion because I will reveal the ultimate protection method that will shield you permanently from these predatory business practices. The first scam involves premature transmission fluid replacement services marketed as essential maintenance. How often have you heard this frightening statement? Your transmission fluid is severely contaminated and requires immediate flushing or your gearbox will suffer catastrophic failure. Technical reality completely contradicts this artificially created urgency designed to pressure you into unnecessary services. Modern automatic transmission fluids maintain their protective properties for 90,000 to 150,000 miles according to manufacturer specifications. Nevertheless, countless shops recommend replacement every 30,000 miles without any technical justification whatsoever. This exaggerated frequency serves purely economic interests rather than legitimate mechanical requirements for optimal vehicle performance. Consumer advocacy research from the Better Business Bureau confirms that 47% of American motorists succumb to this psychological manipulation technique. Their preferred strategy involves displaying a sample of darkened fluid allegedly extracted from your transmission system. However, that contaminated fluid could easily originate from the previous customer's vehicle, or even a prepared container specifically intended to shock unsuspecting clients. Always demand to witness the actual fluid extraction process directly from your transmission pan to verify authenticity. Slightly discolored transmission fluid does not necessarily indicate critical degradation, but rather normal operational byproducts from internal component friction. If your owner's manual specifies service intervals of 100,000 miles, trust that engineering recommendation over commercial sales pitches from service advisors. An unnecessary flush can cost between $150 and $400 depending on your vehicle's transmission capacity. Saving this amount allows you to fund genuinely essential repairs when they become legitimately necessary for continued operation. If these insider tips prove valuable for protecting your wallet from these abusive practices, please subscribe to this channel and activate notification alerts. Your support motivates me to continue investigating these fraudulent techniques and equipping you with actionable intelligence against dishonest mechanics. Second manipulative technique, malicious exploitation of your check engine, light anxiety and associated fears. This small amber indicator literally terrorizes inexperienced drivers, and certain repair facilities understand this vulnerability perfectly. Their typical fear-mongering speech sounds like this: "This is extremely serious and could cost over $3,000 to repair if we don't address it immediately." Official statistics from the Environmental Protection Agency reveal a dramatically different reality. 18% of check engine light activations correspond to minor malfunctions like a loose fuel cap. The fundamental problem lies in our general ignorance regarding the diagnostic trouble codes that trigger these warning systems. Precisely this technical knowledge gap they exploit without any moral hesitation or customer consideration. They overwhelm you with intimidating terminology like oxygen sensor malfunction or catalytic converter efficiency below threshold to justify astronomically inflated repair estimates. You don't need automotive engineering expertise to regain control of this potentially expensive situation. Invest $35 in a compatible OBD scanner device. I particularly recommend the Blue Driver Bluetooth model available through online retailers. Connect it to the diagnostic port typically located beneath the steering wheel on the driver's side of the vehicle. The device will provide you with the exact trouble code detected by your vehicle's engine control module. A quick internet search will clarify the actual severity of the diagnosed malfunction and appropriate response. Let's examine several practical examples to illustrate the concept clearly for better understanding. Code P0457 indicates an evaporative emission system leak, frequently resolved by replacing a $20 purge valve. Code P0173 signals lean fuel mixture conditions, commonly caused by a dirty air filter or small vacuum leak. Code P0421 warns about catalyst system efficiency below threshold, often originating from a deteriorated oxygen sensor costing between $80 and $160. Third deceptive maneuver, abusive replacement of cabin air filtration systems without legitimate justification. Technicians absolutely love this intervention because it requires minimal skill, yet generates substantial profit margins with ridiculously small time investment. Their rehearsed theatrical performance goes like this. They extract a completely saturated filter covered with dead leaves and insect debris while exclaiming, "Look at the deplorable condition of yours." Essential question you must ask. Is that actually your filter, or a demonstration prop they keep specifically to shock unsuspecting customers into compliance? Modern cabin air filters maintain their filtration efficiency for 24,000 to 48,000 miles under normal driving conditions. Unless you regularly drive through construction zones or extremely dusty environments, yours probably functions with complete effectiveness still. The American Automobile Association estimates that 39% of drivers fall victim to this recurring commercial manipulation tactic. To neutralize their deceptive maneuvers, pop the hood before your scheduled inspection appointment begins. The air filter housing identifies easily as a rectangular compartment connected to the engine via a large diameter intake tube. If your filter appears like this example, inform the technician to immediately cease their commercial theater performance. A slightly dusty filter maintains perfect functionality and absolutely does not compromise engine performance or fuel efficiency. For additional security, photograph your filter before surrendering your vehicle to the service facility. You'll catch them red-handed if they attempt the fraudulent substitution scam during your absence. A replacement filter costs between $18 and $35 at auto parts stores and installs in under 4 minutes. Fourth commercial manipulation, the brake pad replacement scare tactic designed to create artificial urgency. This phrase will sound familiar. Your brake pads are dangerously worn and have only 8% material remaining. This intimidation strategy works flawlessly because braking systems directly affect your safety and that of your family members. Problem: numerous technicians deliberately exaggerate urgency levels to trigger impulsive purchasing decisions from frightened customers. Brake pads only require replacement when their thickness drops below 3 millimeters, according to safety standards. Most shops pressure for replacement when 5 millimeters or more thickness remains on the friction material. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration confirms that pads measuring 4 millimeters still provide completely satisfactory and safe braking performance. Strategy to avoid manipulation. Demand to see actual measurements taken with precision calipers or measuring gauges. An honest technician will gladly demonstrate the exact thickness measured to the nearest tenth of a millimeter. If they refuse while citing professional trust or visual evidence, immediately question their true commercial intentions. Also, consult your owner's manual, as many vehicles incorporate wear indicators that squeal when replacement becomes genuinely necessary. As long as you don't hear that characteristic warning sound, your pads retain adequate safety margins for continued operation. Never authorize replacement without your explicit written consent and full understanding of the actual condition. My acquaintance Robert had his pads and rotors replaced for $850 when 4 millimeters remained on the friction material. Don't allow fear to override logical thinking and sound technical judgment based on facts. Practical advice. Brake system work costs significant money. Always request a second professional opinion if they claim absolute urgency. A $75 inspection elsewhere can potentially save you hundreds of dollars in unjustified expenses and unnecessary repairs. Fifth blatant lie, the fictional obligation to use exclusively original equipment manufacturer parts for all repairs. Their carefully crafted commercial pitch claims that only parts bearing the vehicle manufacturer's logo preserve your factory warranty coverage. This statement constitutes pure misinformation specifically designed to justify completely abusive and inflated pricing structures. Let's immediately clarify this intentional confusion. OEM parts are manufactured by the exact same suppliers who provide components directly to automotive manufacturers. They possess identical technical specifications and quality standards as those installed during original factory assembly processes. The only difference lies in the absence of the automotive brand's logo on the commercial packaging materials. This purely cosmetic difference costs you between 2 and 6 times more depending on the specific components required. The Automotive Aftermarket Industry Association published comprehensive research demonstrating that 87% of aftermarket replacement parts meet or exceed original equipment specifications. Their durability and performance prove identical to manufacturer-branded references, while providing average savings of 52% on final invoicing. Except for explicit contrary mention in your warranty contract, which remains extremely rare even on premium European vehicles, you're literally throwing money away. Concrete example. A fuel pump for Honda Accord costs $520 as original equipment versus $140 for equivalent aftermarket Delphi brand. Both references pass identical performance testing and offer the same operational lifespan under normal driving conditions. The price difference finances exclusively the authorized dealer network's profit margins and overhead expenses. Systematically inquire about quality aftermarket alternatives and verify that your warranty explicitly accepts equivalent original equipment parts. Federal legislation protects you against these abusive, restrictive commercial practices that limit consumer choice. Sixth scam, exploiting your natural laziness. Overcharging for elementary mechanical interventions that require minimal expertise. This fraud category directly exploits the fact that most vehicle owners never bother verifying the actual complexity of proposed repair procedures. Repair shops count on your reluctance to research for charging you $220 for cabin filter replacement requiring literally 4 minutes of manipulation. Let's dissect this scam. A cabin air filter costs between $16 and $32 at automotive retailers depending on your vehicle model. The technician charges you $70 for the part, then adds $160 labor for supposedly 40 minutes of skilled work. Result: you pay $230 for a task you could complete blindfolded with zero mechanical experience. The procedure typically involves opening the glove compartment, unclipping the old filter element, and sliding the new one into position. No specialized tools required, no particular technical competence necessary to complete this basic maintenance task successfully. Same situation applies to windshield wiper blade replacement. A 90-second swap they charge $110 for, when quality replacements cost $35 at department stores. The definitive solution? Search YouTube for your vehicle. Make plus cabin air filter DIY replacement tutorial. You'll discover detailed video instructions explaining every step of the procedure in clear, understandable language. Reserve your labor budget for interventions genuinely requiring professional expertise like timing belt replacement or transmission rebuilds. This approach will save you several $100s annually on routine maintenance and basic component replacements. Seventh scandalous practice: the phantom repair that never actually occurred on your vehicle. This particularly vicious scam charges you for interventions that exist purely on paper in your final invoice. The Federal Trade Commission estimates these fraudulent practices represent over $5 billion annually in the American automotive repair industry. The method proves diabolically simple. They claim to have replaced a component or performed specific service work, but your vehicle never received attention. My friend Michael paid $1,400 for clutch replacement supposedly completed, only to discover during subsequent inspection that the original slipping clutch remained installed. How to protect yourself against this major widespread fraud affecting thousands of consumers. Rule number 1, imperatively demand to recover all used parts that were allegedly replaced during service work. No replaced components shown, absolutely no payment made under any circumstances whatsoever. An honest professional will spontaneously present the defective elements removed from your vehicle during repair work. If they invoke recycling regulations or administrative constraints, immediately question their true intentions and business practices. Request before and after photographs documenting each significant intervention performed on your vehicle. Carefully examine your invoice and identify vague descriptions like system adjustment or component service without specific details. Demand precise information about every line item charged without exception or evasion. If the technician cannot concretely explain what work was actually performed, immediately dispute the charges with your credit card company. Financial institutions generally support their customers in this type of well-documented consumer fraud dispute. Eighth brazen falsehood: warranty supposedly voided by external maintenance performed outside authorized dealer networks. Official dealerships love using this threat to force you to remain within their authorized service network at premium prices. Their typical extortion sounds like this: if you have your oil changed anywhere except our facility, we cannot maintain your factory warranty coverage. This claim constitutes a blatant lie that violates federal consumer protection laws currently in effect. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act explicitly protects your freedom to choose repair facilities without consequences for your warranty rights. Manufacturers cannot cancel your warranty coverage simply because you utilize independent repair shops or non-branded replacement parts. The only legal requirement concerns work quality and adherence to manufacturer technical specifications and recommended procedures. For example, if you change your engine oil at an independent facility using recommended viscosity and conforming filters, your powertrain warranty remains completely valid. The same principle applies to brakes, tires, or even major repairs performed according to established factory procedures and specifications. Dealerships hope you'll remain ignorant of your legal rights to maintain their lucrative exclusive service monopoly, systematically retain all maintenance and repair documentation, regardless of the facility chosen for service work. If a dealership abusively refuses to honor your warranty coverage, immediately file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission, which severely sanctions these practices. They have already prosecuted several manufacturer networks for this type of unfair and deceptive commercial extortion. Ninth ridiculous deception: miracle products and other completely imaginary automotive fluids marketed to unsuspecting customers. This scam relies on your gullibility regarding products with impressive technical names but absolutely no practical utility for vehicle operation. The classic example remains the infamous blinker fluid that some facilities still invoice to naive vehicle owners. Obviously, turn signals operate through electrical circuits and require no fluid whatsoever for proper functionality. But scammers don't limit themselves to this tasteless practical joke targeting the mechanically uninformed. They also invent premium windshield washer fluid sold for $100 per gallon when identical product costs $4 at grocery stores, or the revolutionary fuel injector additive supposedly capable of solving all engine problems for $220 when modern fuels already contain necessary detergent additives. Special mention for headlight restoration kits charge $250 plus labor when equivalent kits cost $18 at hardware stores. Even worse, some sell completely fictitious services like air conditioning recharge on sealed systems that never lose refrigerant during normal operation. The absolute rule: if a product or service seems too good or too bizarre to be true, it almost certainly is fraudulent. Systematically research any proposed product online before accepting any recommendations or making purchases. If a technician seriously mentions blinker fluid replacement, immediately leave without requesting further explanation. They're either joking at your expense or demonstrating their own mechanical incompetence. Either way, find another facility. 10th aggressive sales technique: premature shock absorber replacement based solely on arbitrary mileage recommendations. The classic scenario sounds like this: your shock absorbers are completely worn out and must be replaced immediately for your driving safety. But how can they establish such a definitive diagnosis with absolute certainty about component condition? Frequently, they base conclusions solely on odometer mileage without conducting any serious mechanical testing procedures. This approximate approach doesn't correspond to technical reality regarding shock absorber wear patterns and failure modes. These safety components don't deteriorate based on miles driven but according to actual road conditions and driving habits encountered. A vehicle operating exclusively on smooth highways will retain functional shocks much longer than one subjected to rough roads or heavy loads. Most function perfectly between 100,000 and 200,000 miles depending on specific usage patterns. Here's the infallible test to verify their actual operational condition. Press firmly down on each corner of your vehicle, then release suddenly. If the body bounces more than twice before stabilizing, your shocks show genuine signs of progressive deterioration. If it stabilizes immediately or after one slight bounce, they continue functioning perfectly without requiring immediate intervention. Technicians frequently push replacement around 120,000 miles, claiming preventive maintenance necessity. Unless you notice degraded ride quality, uneven tire wear patterns, or abnormal handling characteristics, resist their commercial pressure tactics. A complete shock absorber set can cost over $1,800, including professional installation. Always request a second professional diagnosis if they announce urgent replacement while your vehicle handles normally during daily driving. 11th subtle manipulation: labor hour inflation applied to standard repair procedures with established time requirements. Have you ever received an invoice listing 6 hours of work for an intervention completed in 70 minutes of actual labor? This dishonest practice relies on standardized labor time guides that establish theoretical duration for each specific repair procedure. Experienced technicians frequently complete work much faster than book time, but still charge you for the full established rate. These additional hours represent pure profit for the establishment without any additional investment or material costs. Typical example: alternator replacement shows 4.5-hour book time according to official technical manuals. A competent mechanic completes it in 2 hours, but your invoice still reflects 4.5 hours at $85 per hour. You therefore pay $212 for completely fictional labor that never occurred. How to combat this legalized fraud perpetuated throughout the industry? Consult reference pricing on websites like RepairPal or Your Mechanic that indicate fair pricing for your specific vehicle model. If the estimate significantly exceeds these references, request detailed justification for applied labor times. Also demand written estimates before authorizing any scheduled work to establish baseline expectations. If the final invoice exceeds the initial estimate by more than 25% without valid justification, you can dispute additional charges. Prioritize shops that charge actual time rather than theoretical book rates. Fortunately, they're becoming increasingly common. 12th particularly vicious scheme: the complementary diagnostic that becomes expensive through hidden manipulation tactics. Who can resist the appeal of free services, especially regarding complex automotive diagnostic procedures? Exactly this psychological weakness, unscrupulous professionals exploit to develop their commercial strategy and profit maximization. The trap operates in 2 phases. First, attracting you with promises of no-cost vehicle inspection, then overwhelming you with endless lists of supposedly urgent repairs. The Competition Authority reveals that 35% of free diagnostics result in excessive estimates for problems frequently non-existent or greatly exaggerated. Their technique involves dramatizing minor operational irregularities or completely fabricating mechanical failures from nothing. For example, they'll claim your suspension system has dangerous play when it functions completely normally, or that your accessory belts threaten imminent failure when thousands of miles of service life remain. The foolproof defense strategy: never accept immediate repairs on the same day as diagnostic evaluation. Systematically respond: I need to consider this, and request second opinions from different establishments. An honest technician will confirm genuinely existing problems and allow adequate time for informed decision-making. Also beware of time-limited promotional offers like this week only or just 2 appointment slots remaining. Legitimate repairs are never absolute emergencies unless your vehicle presents immediate driving safety hazards. Take necessary time, conduct proper research, and never allow yourself to be pressured by artificial commercial urgency. 13th fraudulent technique: unnecessary replacement of fuel system components based on false contamination claims. This intervention generates substantial profits because most drivers remain ignorant about fuel system maintenance requirements and component locations. Their standard pitch sounds like this: your fuel injectors are severely clogged and require professional cleaning or replacement to prevent engine damage. Technical reality contradicts this alarmist claim that lacks legitimate justification in most circumstances. Modern fuel injection systems incorporate self-cleaning capabilities, and high-quality fuels contain sufficient detergent additives for normal operation. Fuel injector problems typically manifest through specific symptoms like rough idling, misfiring, or significant power loss during acceleration. If your engine runs smoothly without performance issues, injector cleaning represents unnecessary expense without measurable benefit. This service can cost between $300 and $700 depending on the cleaning method and facility overhead. Before accepting, verify whether your vehicle actually exhibits symptoms consistent with fuel delivery problems. Many shops recommend this service based purely on mileage intervals rather than actual performance indicators or diagnostic evidence. Request to see diagnostic scan results showing injector-specific performance data before authorizing any fuel system services. If they cannot provide concrete evidence of reduced injector performance, politely decline their recommendation. Quality fuel from reputable stations contains adequate cleaning agents to maintain injector efficiency throughout normal vehicle operation. 14th sophisticated scam: unnecessary engine control module reprogramming presented as essential maintenance updates. This fraud category exploits the mystery surrounding automotive electronics for the majority of vehicle owners. Their impressive technical presentation sounds like this: your engine computer needs software updates, new calibrations are available from the manufacturer. In reality, control module updates are only necessary when specific documented problems exist covered by manufacturer technical service bulletins. A properly functioning engine control unit requires no reprogramming intervention except in very exceptional circumstances involving recalls or safety issues. This operation can cost between $400 and $900 without providing any perceptible improvement in vehicle operation or performance. Worse yet, improperly executed reprogramming can create new problems that didn't exist previously in your vehicle's operation. Before accepting, request the specific technical service bulletin number justifying this particular update for your vehicle. Without official manufacturer documentation, categorically refuse this suspicious commercial proposition and seek alternative opinions. If reprogramming were genuinely necessary, the authorized dealer would have contacted you to perform the update under warranty coverage. Most reprogramming recommendations from independent shops represent profit-seeking rather than legitimate technical necessity for continued operation. 15th deceptive practice: transmission service overselling based on fluid appearance rather than actual performance testing. This final scam exploits your natural concern for expensive transmission repairs that can cost thousands of dollars. Their fear-inducing presentation typically begins, "Your transmission fluid looks terrible and needs immediate flushing to prevent catastrophic failure." However, transmission fluid naturally darkens during normal operation as it circulates through internal components and accumulates microscopic particles. Dark fluid doesn't automatically indicate contamination requiring immediate service intervention or expensive flushing procedures. Many transmissions function perfectly with fluid that appears dark, but retains adequate protective properties for continued operation. The key indicator for transmission service necessity involves actual performance symptoms like slipping, harsh shifting, or delayed engagement. If your transmission operates smoothly without performance issues, fluid appearance alone rarely justifies expensive service procedures. Before authorizing transmission service, request laboratory analysis of fluid samples to determine actual degradation levels. Many shops use visual appearance to pressure customers into unnecessary services that provide no measurable benefit. Transmission flushes can cost between $250 and $600 depending on fluid capacity and facility rates. If your transmission shifts normally and exhibits no performance problems, consider postponing service until genuine symptoms develop. Here's my absolute golden rule for avoiding all these deceptive practices. Systematically request second professional opinions before authorizing any major repair work. If a technician claims your vehicle requires expensive intervention, demand tangible evidence like photographs of alleged problems or defective components, then verify customer reviews on Google, Yelp, or specialized automotive websites to evaluate the establishment's reputation and business practices. Repair facilities with questionable practices rapidly accumulate detailed negative reviews from victimized customers. This simple verification method will prevent 97% of common scams prevalent throughout our automotive service industry. If these professional revelations have opened your eyes to these scandalous industry practices, demonstrate your support by subscribing to this channel and activating notification preferences. The more of us exposing these fraudulent schemes, the better we protect American motorists from these unscrupulous business operators. Your subscription encourages me to continue this investigative work for your financial protection and vehicular safety.